That's how they want it. That's how they get it. Universal justice. Universal justice. That's how they want it. That's how they get it. Universal justice. That's how they want it. That's how they get it. Universal justice. That's how they want it. That's how they get it. Universal justice.
Watching it on your phone, just make sure you turn your volume down. So peace to the God. I got you on here live and direct, man. Peace, Earth. Peace. How are y'all? So for everybody that's tuning in, man, we be back. We live for another episode of the God and Earth Hour. So I got the wonderful and amazing pleasure of having two of my favorite God and Earths that's out there building out in Dallas, or like we like to call it Sudan. So I got my man Lord Hashem. I got his Earth Sudan. I got them in the building, but I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. But they definitely some builders, definitely some powerful people, some great gods and Earths that you want to know if you're in the Dallas area. But I'm gonna let them tell their story. God and Earth, can y'all please come on to the stage and introduce yourself for anybody who don't know y'all to the platform.
Peace. My name is Lord Hashem. It's my beautiful Earth, Sudan. And we rest and reside in Divine Allah. Now, Divine Allah, which is Dallas, Texas. Divine Allah and Freetown, which is Dallas, Fort Worth. It splits up into many different sections. You know, you have different sections just like they would have in any major city. And those sections are split up into names. And I know a lot of people have gotten it mixed up thinking that the whole of Dallas is the Sudan. Actually, the Sudan is the southern part of Dallas. That's the southern part of Dallas. So we call Divine Allah on the whole, Dallas on the whole is Divine Allah. Been building here since born knowledge, God. Got knowledge in 91, born knowledge. My educator
Go to the 5% connection on
by the name of Akil Allah. So I've been around for a few moons, God. As my old people used to say, I've been around for a few ice cream seasons.
Peace to the God.
Peace, God. Peace to everybody. I am Sudan Earth. I reflect by the Lord Hashem, and I am here to add on. I am the editor of the Earth Cipher, the monthly publication that is included in the Fox and the newspaper. So if you have not gotten your subscription, I would definitely encourage you to do so. And that will allow you the opportunity to get that bit of knowledge that is shared each month. You can also follow the Earth Cipher across all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. We're on Clubhouse, YouTube. So Google search the Earth Cipher, Earths with an S, and you'll find us.
That's peace.
Peace.
And we're also online at www.divineallah5%.com.
Peace, Earth. Peace. So thank y'all so much. I do want to thank y'all again one more time just for adding on and just for taking the time to come join us on this platform. So for anybody who don't know, and I know this ain't y'all first time tuning in, but I do gotta set the stage. You know, for anybody who's tuning in for the first time, what this is, we have this platform so that we can help expose, help introduce the people to the teachings of the 5%ers by actual true and living gods and earths, right? Like you got so many people out there that's putting out a narrative and putting out a mindset and putting out information about who we are. However, it's up to us to put out that information, right? So who else can write our own story but us, right? So and not only us writing our story, not only us writing our history, but us being able to ones to introduce the people. We got people out here that's on our stream, and God, you know, I've introduced some people to you that's in your location who connected with us off Instagram. So we want to be able to have a platform where we can show these people, hey, the gods and earths is real people. The guys and nurses is real people. The guys and nurses are still here. We still in the building. We still teaching. We still showing and proving. This ain't a hip hop thing. You know what I'm saying? This ain't something that's on Hulu, right? This something that's real life. It's real life guys and nurses that's really walking the land. That's really out here showing and proving, man. And you know, y'all are two of those individuals, guys. So it's an absolute pleasure to have y'all, man, and to have this add on with you guys. So I definitely appreciate you, man. Yeah, so today, man, we wanted to.
Woman and child, bro.
Oh yeah, God. So today, man, we wanted to talk about. You know, I do a lot of market research, and I like to dig in there to figure out, you know, what exactly is the people interested in, and what exactly do the people want to know about us, right? And two of the biggest questions that come up when people want to know about us and want to get introduced to our teachings is what is the universal flag, right? As well as what is the meaning of the universal family, right? Because these are terms that people hear us say, like, what is the universal family? So I thought that this was a really, really dope build to have with you and your earth. You know what I mean? I got my earth here with us. So God, let me get your add on, man. What is the universal family to you, God? How you see that? What is a universal family?
Wow. A universal family to me consists of all the moving parts to operate in any society. You know, to me, the man is the head of the family. The woman is the nurturer and the teacher, as well as the man. You know, and the child is that one which we nurture, we teach, we add on to, so that their trajectory in life will be on a destination of success. And that's our duty. You know, we in the 5%, you know, we hear those words thrown around a lot to where we also almost get to the point where we hear it all the time: universal family, peace to the universal family. But if you really look at that, the universal family, there are key components that are in that word and that phrase that mean oh so much to what we are looking to achieve. The universal family, again, it consists of man, woman, and child. And with that building block, there is no limit to what you can do if things are taught properly, if there are goals in line, if there are if everybody's playing their role. That's very important. The roles in the universal family are very important. So the universal family to me is the vital building block of our nation. It's the vital building block of our nation: man, woman, and child.
Ooh.
Peace to the God and to the earth. Peace.
Man, peace, God. I love that. I love you kept it real simple when you said that. It's the vital building block. Earth, you want to chime in? You want to throw something in on that? About the universal family?
I see universal family as the heteronatural dynamic of man, woman, and child in its original context.
Did it come up on TV?
I think that a lot of times we come across these abridged versions and definitions.
Don't worry about it then. You got it on your phone.
But I deal with it as basic and fundamental as it is.
You got your two headphones on?
Man, woman, and child. And without that universal family, you can't have any other building block. You don't get society. You don't get civilization. You don't get anything else unless you have those three components. Anything else is artificial.
It's just very important to note that the black man being the first, right, and going out to deal in this society, it's always, you know, you always hear that saying, you know, behind every great man there's a great woman, you know, and when you look into that great man and woman and what they produce, it's greatness. It's just I have to put that in right here, that to build great families, you have to have everybody playing in their role. Everybody has to play their role, and everybody has to do what is needed to show forth and prove that universal family. And that's what we're looking to do. Peace.
Peace, God. Peace, God. I love that, man. Earth Mecca, you look like you just itching to come on and say something over here. Come on, add on.
Actually, I was looking at the children.
We discussing, you know.
No, my children are on the steps.
They all right.
However, I see the universal family in a practical sense of a family unit. And when that family unit is working and you see it working, you know that there's a thought process there that basically is understood by each member of the family. A universal family is a universe. So when we say the universe is everything, sun, moon, and stars, and you see that that's working, and you see it working beautifully, and it coexisting quite naturally, then you know that they're doing something right and exact. So at the most basic level, a universal family is the unit. It is the building block, like the earth said. You cannot have a civilization, much less cooperation, without seeing both that man and woman coexisting peacefully. So when they're coexisting peacefully, you see that the magnetism is right and exact. You see that the distance is right and exact. And I know I'm going a little bit more deeper than what most people understand, but what I'm striving to say is that it is an understanding. It's a divine understanding there. So when you see that divine understanding working and it's working properly, you know that understanding is born. And that's why you see stars, you see children, and you see the children following after. So with that, I say peace.
Peace, Earth. And to add on with you, Earth, like I was sitting here thinking, you know, the universal family, God, it's the union of two people in accordance with one mindset.
True indeed.
You know what I mean? To where you got, to where I know we about to jump in the universal flag, but like those the pieces of the flag, they're not separate. You know what I'm saying? Like they all in one piece. They all in unison. You know what I mean? You got the man, you got your woman, and as well as you got the children, you got everybody teaching and in accordance with that same purpose, God, which is, like we said, the universal family. Meaning that you, for one, you're dealing with universal terms. You're dealing with God or the universe, right? You're dealing with Earth. That's a celestial body. So you're not dealing with, we not dealing with nothing that's some basic science. We just the science of the heavens and the earth above, the heavens and the earth, right? Which is universal. They just, so the context of those two pieces coming together would make that universal family. The God of the universe and the supreme planet, the one that life is on, the earth, together in unison, as well as like we deal with the stars, you know? So yeah, God. Now let me go ahead, Earth. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add on. We have to keep in mind too that it's not a one-dimensional image. That image is actually three-dimensional.
Oh,
So
I like that,
when we
Earth.
speak of the sun, moon, and stars, we have to also consider it for those who are graphic designers or deal with imagery. That flag has layers, right? And so your first ground layer is the backdrop, and then you start putting things on top of that, right? So we have the white, which is the cloud of deception, which I look at when we deal with the universal family being the illusion that the black man is not present in the family, or that we don't have quality, suitable black men to choose from. That's an illusion, right? And when you come out of that illusion and you see the truth, you see the sun, and that sun is holding up the rest of that flag. It's the foundation for it. It's truly being the center of the universe. And so I think that we have to consider it too from that three-dimensional perspective, and in that each one of those layers are individual duties, and the base word of universal is unit if we go study. So we get into some training units, right? So each one of those layers comes with a set of training units or obligations or duties. And so that's what gives depth and volume to the universal flag, and then not just being a image, a art piece, right, or an insignia. It really is a walking, talking manifestation of who and what we are striving to bring into reality on an everyday basis. So when people look at that flag, I want them to also consider the reality that it's not just a one-dimensional image. It really is three-dimensional, four-dimensional, right? It has to come up off the paper, and every piece of that image, right? Every piece of that image is valid and has a part and a duty.
And really, they play that duty and they have their proper roles. You know, the moon can't be the sun. You know, that seven can't be the moon. You know, the star is not the sun.
And that the moon itself, it's a new moon.
Mm.
You know what I mean? People don't take the time to actually study the actual significance of the symbols in the flag, right? It's not a full moon, it's a waxing moon. And so that gets you into studying earth science and studying cosmology and the astrology, but not from the perspective and part itself. I dislike saying but because it negates everything you said before. However, is what I intended to say. While it is the study of astronomy and astrology from the scientific perspective, it is nothing to do with supreme mathematics or supreme alphabet, right? But this is just going into the science and the study of everything in life. And so beyond just looking at it and saying, oh, I'm the earth, what makes you the earth? Oh, I'm the moon, or the moon represents me. What makes that moon represent you? You know, what makes it significant to you? What is the significance of a new moon? What is the significance of the sun being full and in blazing view like it's 12 o'clock noon? So all of those things have to be examined, and that's what helps. In my perspective, in my opinion, that helps give that depth and value to a person, so that they can actually appreciate the image beyond it just being a worldwide recognized symbol piece.
And what a beautiful gift that, you know, peace to the God, universal sham God. What a beautiful gift to give to this nation. You know, just something so practical and just really where anybody can understand it. And that's why I really love our nation, because we break it down to the most simplest terms to where a child can understand it. It's just practical teaching. Sun, moon, and stars, man, woman, and child. You know, that's the beauty that I see in it. Peace.
Peace, God. Peace to the God. Yeah, peace, God. Yes, sir, man. And I think, like you said, God, it's such a simplicity. It's such a simplicity to where we able to teach such a high science, God. And then at its essence, you know, and this was something that was always significant for me coming into the knowledge, God. Like, I never met a group of brothers and sisters who was adamant about family. Like, it wasn't until I met the gods that I heard brothers say things like, yo, God, what you gonna be? You ain't gonna be no seedless grape, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, and it was like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? And I not to say that, you know, you pushing somebody to start a family, but it's like, yo, that's important. We about family, my man. You got knowledge now. Go get you an earth. You teach that woman, teach that earth knowledge of herself, and then y'all have y'all family, y'all have y'all some babies, and y'all teach y'all babies. So, in essence, and that's why I love it. There's so many. I can go on and on for reasons why I love the teachers and deal with the teachers. But you able to cure and save and heal the community, man. That's how you heal and save a community, because you teach exactly the individuals. Right, you teach the men, you teach the women, and then teach your children, and then you get these communities of gods and earths. Then you get these families of gods and earths, to where eventually then you got neighborhoods of gods and earth. And even if everybody ain't God or earth, but you got the knowledge inserted, you got seeds planted. You know what I mean? Along those trails and along those places, God. So that's really something, man. That's really powerful, God.
It's beautiful, God.
That's a beautiful thing. Man.
If we put it into practice, and you know, we're a nation that's you know, power cipher in our power cipher years in existence, and we're gonna have some stumbles. You know, we're gonna have some times when, but we have answers right there. The answer is mathematics, and if we take the blueprint that was given to us. Now, you know, when we start getting to what we call the meat of our lessons, you know, we learn about Yaqub and what he did to build his nation. Well, we've been taught that you flip that, what he did, and there you have righteousness, what you can do. First of all, a man needs to find out if that woman is healthy, strong, and a good breeder.
Oh.
Now, that's just not, yeah, God. I mean, it's like the blueprint is there, God. The blueprint is there, and it's all in supreme mathematics. You got to have the wisdom to build.
True indeed.
so that you
Right.
add on to your knowledge onto that cipher that's coming after you. You know, so it's so beautiful, God, if you were to actually just look into the lessons in a supreme mathematics eye and just say, you know, man, it's all here. The universal family is right here. The universal flag is right here. That I need is right here as a man to start. And to me, I tell gods, young gods that I'm building with, when you get mathematics and you get up to that God principle, if you do have a woman, you need to be all of those things in that precede that come before that seven. You need to make sure she's all of those things before y'all can go on to build and to born life, peace, knowledge,
God.
wisdom, understanding. You know what I'm saying? Culture, refinement, power, equality. Then you see God, and that's the beautiful part about this life. Peace.
Peace,
I can
God.
go on and on too, Lord. Peace.
No, oh, God. You know we could. You
Still
know
there,
we
God?
could. Yeah. I'm still here. Can you still hear us?
Peace.
Peace, God. Can you hear us?
Peace.
Peace, God. Can you hear me? We can hear you, man. Oh, I think the God stream acting up. Peace. Can you hear me, God?
See us
Huh?
on the computer. Peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear the God? You can't hear me?
It's starting to delay. Can you hear it?
Yeah, well, no, I can hear them. Hold on, let me see what's happening.
Peace, God. I can hear you on the Instagram, but I cannot hear you from my computer.
Yeah, and we can hear you. What about now? Your screen just reloaded. Can you hear us now? Damn. All right, folks. Hold on. Peace, God. Can you hear me?
No, I can not.
All right, hold on. Damn, man, we was having us a good build too. We was having us a good. God, what you do?
Refresh on our end.
Yeah, refresh on your end. I'm gonna see what that do. Or you may have to do is you may have to leave and then come back in. So what else we gonna get into? I'm gonna see what we're gonna see. We're gonna see where our screen is with the God, because I know we was having a little trouble with our stream. So we also want to deal with and talk about it, and that's the universal flag. You may be out there wondering, what is the universal flag? I know this is a hot topic, something that we always get a lot of questions about. Something that we always get a lot of questions about, and people that's interested in. And in fact, this is one of the most top Google searched and search subjects in related to what we teach and related to our culture. So just meaning that this is something that people searching about. So obviously this is something that people interested in and want to talk about. God on earth, is y'all back there? Can y'all hear me? Peace.
Peace, God. Can you hear us?
We can hear you. I can hear you, but I can't hear y'all.
Peace.
Can y'all hear me? I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
We're still not able to hear you through the computer.
Oh, I wonder why. Oh, that's why. Peace, God. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes.
Peace,
All right. There we go. We back in the game, folks. We back in the game. Y'all just bear with us. It's gonna what we gonna get it. We gonna get it right. Yeah, we gonna definitely get it right and rolling. So we back in the game. They ain't gonna be able to keep us out of there for too long. Yeah, you know how we
Talking
do.
about this universal flag.
Yeah. We gotta get up. We gotta get on this universal flag. So, like I was just saying, and was just tagging on. This is something that, in my market research guide, what I found is that one of the most requested and talked about and interested things that people are searching and researching in regards to our culture. One of those things is the universal flag. You know what I mean? So I thought it'd be a good idea for us gods and us earths to come together and talk about it and dialogue about it. Y'all have a very beautiful portrait of the universal flag right there behind y'all. I got one of those that brother our good brother portraits in my living room. So that's a real beautiful. So
Definitely.
and I think I wanted to bring these two topics together because I really think we reaching in the same bag, right? We reaching in the same science in regards to the universal family and then the universal flag. So we're gonna get into that. We can build on that, and then I do got a couple questions in the comments. So then we'll tag on the questions after that, and then close off with some last statements. Sound cool?
Sound good to me, God.
Peace, God. So I just want to tag it on off and just add on a little bit. So if anybody don't know, the universal flag is the flag of our nation, right? This is our something that was created by the great universal sham God in the early days of our nation, and that was presented to Allah the Father, and it's something that's been carried on and that's been taught, and that's a banner and a symbol of righteousness. It's our badge of honor, right? The reward in each individual, each God on earth is given a universal flag as a reward, right? As a badge of honor to show and prove that he has learned the culture and got his knowledge and learned his 120. So this is a real powerful thing, for me, the universal flag, man, when I always see it and get into it in its essence, for me, it is the universal family, right? It's the universal family and everything that family stands for, right? So like we went into it. The Earth kind of touched on a little bit earlier and about how, and I like that because that was a nice jewel house, a 3-dimensional piece, and it's really and it's many dimensions. So when you got the 7, obviously that's right there, right in the middle, bright and prominent and solid black, representing the black man. Then of course you got your moon, and then your solid your solid white background, your canvas, and then your points, which is half gold and half black. Representing the different brothers got they bills on what that means and how that represents for them. So I'm interested to get a perspective, get y'all perspective in a nutshell, and in a I don't want to say it in a little bit, but just your seat, right? So for me, like I said, that universal flag is our family, God. Is each? I feel like each individual plants his own flag. That in the beginning, that we all start off as a blank canvas, right? That's what that white background is to me, a blank canvas. So we all start off with a blank canvas, right? And then you come and you put yourself in the middle of your universe and being God. You get your woman behind you, right? You know what I mean? That's your moon. And then when y'all have some babies, you come your that moon becomes whole and become an earth, right? And then them points that's radiating around it, that's our knowledge. That's our knowledge and our wisdom building in every direction. You know what I mean? So, and that's just a quick perspective for me, God, in a nutshell. But like, I know it's something that, if anybody out there, man, it's something that we hold dear because this every nation has something that represents them to the people, right? And that, for me, that universal flag is that image for conscious minds and conscious eyes to be able to see the science in one look, in one picture. And for those that understand and say, okay, whoa, that's what they do. This the whole universe right there in one shot. So and I ain't trying to hold the floor, God. I know you want to come on in and add on what you think, God. what would you say, man?
God, that flag is just what it says. It's the greatest and only flag known in the universe. And it's really known simply because you see the components that it has. It has the sun, the moon, and the star. It has the 7 represented. When you look into to nature, when you look into life, when you look into space, you see that flag. Everywhere you look, you see that flag. You see the greatness of that flag. You know, um, you'll catch me wearing a universal flag. You know, I have a ring appended universal flag. But to me, to see my universal flag is to see my woman and my child. That's for me to see that and watch them grow and watch them do their duties as mother to my child and my child growing and developing, and again the trajectory is set to where it's undeniable, and that flag is undeniable. That flag is undeniable. When you look at that flag, you see life. That's how I see it. You want to add on?
Well, I mean, you pretty much said a mouthful in regards to the universal flag. We had a great bill last night in Clubhouse dealing with just this topic in regards to the universal flag and how it became recognized as our nation's flag. To be a nation, there are some things that are necessary, right? Any given said nation has a language, they have a flag, they have a land, they have a custom or tradition, they have some type of a spiritual system, right? Um, when you think of our nation, in order to be a said nation, we have to be able to check those things off. Do we have a name? Yes.
Yes.
Do we have a flag? Yes. Do we have some land? Yes. Uh, when
A
you start,
language.
we have a language, right? So when you
That's
start checking those things off, we have a dress. Um, when you look at a group of people, generally, when you look for their culture, what you find is their woman, because generally their woman is going to be one of the artisans, right? She's going to wear the traditional garb. She's going to carry out custom. She's going to make the jewelry or play the music that is traditional. And so that takes me back to our universal flag. It shows and proves the natural order. So anything moving outside of natural order is going against what the universal flag advocates for. So that's why I lead with it's a heteronatural representation of a unified family, because we have all of these different sexualities fighting to make themselves known and present. And I feel like it's actually a deliberate attempt to dismantle the unified family and to dismantle the institution it represents. And because in order to overcome any group of people, you have to first be able to infiltrate. And the best way to do that is to create enmity between man and woman. So if you look at our dynamics as a group of people, original people, we have men and women at odds with one another, right? Be it a financial war, an emotional, psychological war, a social war, a genetic war, right? So there's already separation happening between man and woman, and that's where the battle actually lies in striving to create space for he and her to come back together, right? To create space where man can be man, right? He can be the authoritative leader. Um, he can lay out a blueprint for his family, and his woman can follow. The key thing, though, is that man has to have the ability to lead. He has to have the ability to utilize supreme mathematics. And when those things are being properly exemplified and displayed, then a woman will come into her natural phase. I also see that moon. It is a young moon, but there's another, however, there's another um, esoteric connotation that I see from that too. That new moon resembles a softer woman, right? So if you want me to be soft, you want me to be covered, then don't make me have to get out here and be so rough in this world, right? Create the space where exactly, don't make me have to come out of my role to fulfill the needs of shelter, food, and clothing, and then put me back in my place, and I can help lift you back up to where you're supposed to be because our roles have been shifted. So the flag is just critical because if we're supposed to show the people the example, the the first thing we have to use as a teaching tool is our universal flag, right? It's something that everybody can understand. It's a way to go into an academic system
Hmm.
that's being used as a tool to create more separation, create more confusion in gender neutrality, all of that, right?
Right.
The flag can neutralize all of that because at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, did the son actually choose to be the son? It was the son.
It was already there.
It was already there, right? So when boys come out of the womb, nobody is choosing that but the genetic code of the father. It's just
Exactly.
it's giving them a scientific reference that you're not an accident, you're not a statistic, while we all are statistics, but that's not the sum total of who you are. There is a greater purpose and role in this world for you. And when we're not showing our little boys that and we're not showing our little girls that, then we will continue to go down this road even further into the direction where the unified family is but a figment of our imagination. And that's the day that we've put an expiration on ourselves.
Hmm.
So I'm striving to fight against that because I think that's the greatest thing being done to us is striving to put an there is no expiration on us, right? But there's an attempt to create that expiration because in actuality that's the only way that the adverse forces, and I'll say it that way, no mystery, right? The devil, that's the goal, and that's one of the key ways that it'll be able to overcome us because we're so strong, right? We're so resistant. And so we have to be mindful and very deliberate when we go out and teach. It's great to teach supreme mathematics. It's great to teach the supreme alphabet. However, be careful because we don't need to have a whole lot of people knowing how to speak like us and not be like
Absolutely.
us,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And
Right.
that's what's happening. Use this flag and teach women to stand in their role, stay in your families,
Hmm.
teach brothers, man up, take care of your children, be responsible to your children and the women who you have made these babies with.
Mhm.
That's ground level because at this point, that's where the fight is. It's for the unified family piece.
That's right, Earth.
I
I
Ooh,
wanted to
challenge.
add on to
ooh.
what the earth
I
was
challenge
saying.
any youth that's watching this right now, and you may feel disengaged with yourself. You may not know who you are.
Mm.
I challenge you to look at the five percenters, the nation of gods and earth, and see what we teach is right and exact. The
That's right,
unified
God.
black family.
Ooh,
You
man.
know, that young man may be
Goodness,
looking
man.
for a father figure. That young woman may be looking for a mother figure, and she may not find it in her home. It's sad to say. It's so sad to say that, and it's not happening in every household, but it's happening in so many households in our communities. That's why we have to be the light. That's why we have to listen, man. We are, whether you know it or not, examples. A lot of people don't want to be examples. Then we are called to be examples. So when you see any youth that's listening to this or looking at this, when you see this flag, run to it. Run to the people that have that flag and ask them, what do y'all teach? What are y'all about? I guarantee you get some good results. Peace.
Ooh, peace, God.
Peace,
Peace,
God.
God. Let me get. I gotta.
Mr.
Y'all
Charles,
might not
man.
be able to hear it because y'all ain't
Charles.
on Instagram, but I'm clapping. I got the claps and the hand claps going for you. When y'all listen to the stream later, y'all will see. Especially when the Earth was talking, I had the applause going. I mean, the
Oh,
whole.
God, listen, man.
It sounded like the whole
We said
crowd
we
was
were gonna,
clapping.
God, we said we were gonna just. This is us every day, God. We
Oh,
sit
ain't no
and build and
question.
talk and
Ain't no
we said
question.
we gonna have to put our table talks online and just let people just chime in, just hear us talk. Because this is what we do, especially during the pandemic when it came up, God. A lot of people were out of order, as we all are. But it pretty much brought us back in order, dealing with other things that we hadn't been really, really paying attention to. And a lot of that has to do with learning one another and learning family. And God, we sit up and build like this for hours on end.
Oh God,
This is what we do.
God, that's why I called you, my man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you a builder. I know you don't mind giving it up, God. And I would say is the proof is in the pudding, God. It ain't no question, no, man. You can't talk about Sudan. You can't talk about Dallas, Texas without mentioning y'all two names, man. Why? Because y'all been teaching and talking and getting it in and showing and proving. And you know now you got it's fruit, man. It's fruit from that. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely, God. You definitely it's a pleasure to be on here with you. The Earth wanted to add something on too, man. I wanted to let her get her add on. Come on, Earth.
I actually wanted to add on to what the Earth was saying because she actually took everything out of my mind. However, I appreciate that because we are sisters and we're one. Okay, so like from my perspective as a young Earth within this nation at one point in time, I got knowledge at Knowledge Born 18, 19 years old. So some people come from broken families, like we were basically saying. Like some don't understand what a family dynamic is. So as a young Earth, not understanding what this flag meant, I quickly understood what it meant within the first year or two of having knowledge of self. Okay, I was never really taught what a dynamic of a family was before that. This flag is the best representation of what I've gotten thus far within my years of being here. So I've heard the Earth say clouds of deception. I've heard the God say it was a canvas. For me, it literally was a veil being lifted off of my eyes, honestly. You know, because I was never taught like, okay, it's okay for a man to lead or for a woman to basically fall back and be the woman of the house and, you know, nurture the children and so on and so forth. So at 19, coming amongst the cipher, it was basically like, you know, veils being lifted. Like, okay, so you really are supposed to be here doing this. And you're supposed to be over here doing this. This is your role. And leave this to the God, you know. And a lot of times I look at that flag as basically it's been a compass in my life. Because at different points, you're going to come to different points in your life where you're going to question things and you're going to try to figure out certain things that have a relevancy to you. And what more of a relevancy is it than me coming into a new phase of myself? I'm leaving the old way of thinking behind. And I'm coming into a new way of thinking. Like the Earth said, a new moon, a new phase. This is a new phase of myself. This is a new canvas I'm painting for myself, a new life I'm painting for myself. So when I see my nation and my culture, when I look around me, my culture is beautiful because there's different aspects painted within the Earth's head wrap, within her dress, or how beautiful the children are. That is my canvas of seeing how the dynamic basically has changed. And my whole perception of what a family dynamic changed when I came into this. Okay, so it was okay for someone to lead and me to basically follow. It was okay for me to basically teach my children the hymns and the customs and the traditions of our culture. Okay, so for any young man or woman watching, we have a dynamic, we have a system of a unit, you know, because a lot of times we come from broken families, you know. So I know I went all across the board, but however, the flag for me was the veil being lifted. Okay, that's what the white represented for me. Me being not being so naive about everything and literally researching things. And those points was different points in my life where I hit certain walls that I had to basically realize, like, listen, you got to go to a different sister, Earth, or somebody who's going to help shepherd you and help you out to be able to get to the next point of where you're going, you know. So that helped me in my phase of growth and development. I look at that moon as growth and development. You know, it's a new aspect of me. I'm a student forever, you know, at heart. So that's how I see it. Obviously, the 7 is the black man, you know. He's the building block. We all are building blocks on top of each other, as the Earth said again. So I really do appreciate that, though. But we weren't always given examples. And I can say that as a teenager, I wasn't given an example. So coming here, I was given a proper example. And that example for the last 12 years for me has been a beautiful example. And it's been something that has been shown and proven, like you got to keep working at it, keep working at it. Because we haven't been taught to work at anything. So when you're taught to work at something, keep working at it, because that's what makes you new, or it helps you go into a new phase of your life and being more righteous and more refined and more stand up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wanted to add that on it.
Peace. Peace, Earth.
Peace.
Peace.
Beautifully
Peace,
said.
peace. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
did y'all have anything that y'all want to add on to that? Because I do got some questions down here in the chat, in the comments, that I do want to hop on and throw at some people and throw at y'all. Did y'all want to add anything onto that? What the earth was just in there was building on?
The one thing that I would add is another jewel that I found in studying that moon is that it's actually um, it has that shape, that shadow, because in the new moon phase it is closely in line with the earth and the sun.
Mm-hmm. True
So I
indeed.
think that that's also a beautiful point in that men and the gods, y'all have to lead, right? The earth
Mm-hmm.
just transitioned, peace to wisdom, understanding. We've had some very strong earths. Queen Cypher has returned, Queen Watisha,
My t-shirt.
uh, I mean Queen Asia, and then just in the last, day, the god King Asiatic, who all were like very much strong builders, right? And wisdom understanding said the gods gotta teach. The earth's
Mm-hmm.
gotta teach too.
Mm-hmm.
The guys got to teach because it's going to be you all who are drawing up these women and these babies.
True indeed.
It's going to be the way that we replenish the useful land that we have. If you don't till your land and turn it over and work it, you can have the ground, but it won't yield you anything when you plant a seed. And so we have to do the work with the land, right? So I think that's the other important part. It puts everything in the proper orientation. And so it really, if you look at it, it's like God got to hold up the back and God got to hold up the front,
Mm-hmm.
and sandwiched in between that, the bookends, that's where you're gonna find the earth and the moon, right? And them babies. And
Mm-hmm.
when we put it in that context, we make sure that wherever those planetary bodies are orbiting or spinning, their face is always turned towards God. And I think that's the beautiful reality we have to get back to embrace those types of beautiful relationships that nurture forever, right? So that we have good examples for young women and young men who may come in. My mother was a divorcee and never remarried. It was very much a deliberate mental decision for me to choose relationships that would be long lasting and also um, progress my growth and development. And it was very much critical for me to be in a healthy relationship. And when the first one ended up not being so healthy, I let that one go. We went our separate ways. And I'm grateful that because I was doing my own work and walking in my own mathematics, my path
Right.
crossed with the God. And now we're knowledge as cipher years into this relationship, right? And so it creates an opportunity to change that narrative that black relationships, original relationships, Latin relationships, we don't get along, we can't stay together. It changes and erases that lie because we can be um, in a healthy relationship, and then how we become healthy in those relationships and what they look like, that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
But
Ooh.
recognizing the importance of having these relationships so that people have the example and we actually have the ability to show and prove that that flag is walking and talking, right? Because that's my thing. When you come to the cipher, I want to see your woman, because if you say you God, then your reflection should also be reflecting godly ways.
True indeed.
I can't really deal with you in that capacity. I'm earth. So I want to deal with your wisdom, because
Right.
then that way we can team up and we can start making things happen. So I say that and say peace. See, I can
Peace.
go
Peace.
for a while.
Wisdom
Peace,
means to
Earth.
speak.
Peace, Earth.
That's right. That's right. Peace to the earth. Oh, you all
I
good,
saw
Earth?
Antoine, pardon self, just clarification, because I'm watching the news feed
Uh
too.
oh.
Peace to
We about to
X1.
get
We
it.
are not the gods and goddesses. We are the nation of gods and
Oh,
earth, right?
absolutely.
And it's all
Peace.
peace and love, but that's a
Yes.
whole nother vernacular for a whole nother culture and a whole different paradigm. And so in that realm, it's cool. But here, we respect the earth and respect us the same.
Absolutely.
That's
Peace.
right.
I bear witness
Peace
to
to the
that.
earth. I seen it. I ain't even get a chance. I know that.
You know we swift. That 1033rd ain't no joke, boy.
Yeah, peace to the earth, no doubt, no doubt. So I want to answer the question to B Boy. I got B Boy Supreme in the chat. He asked. He said, "I know the lessons are for the youth, but how does an older brother get the knowledge?" He said, "My physical
Oh, I
degree
saw
is,
that.
is culture born. I work with the youth that society doesn't want." Come on, and give it to him, Lord Hashem. How you see that, God? What you say?
God, this is definitely for the youth, God. But if you're an older person, I have a few brothers that I'm actually teaching right now that's coming into this science because of the demographic that where we live at. A lot of brothers here don't get it when they're youth, but they learn about it through the internet. And I'm grateful for that, for the internet. You know, you have to use useful land where it's useful at. And I let the brothers when they come along and over said age, listen, man, I'm not gonna hold your hand like I would a child. You know, you got to come in here and you have to do something. You got to add on in some capacity. You have a heart for the youth. You have a heart to want to do things. Okay, you can get these lessons, but no one understands. You're gonna be doing double duty. You're gonna be working and helping with the youth. You know, we need to know, first of all, we need to know some things about you, your background, where you come from. You know, I don't have a problem with teaching those who are older. My primary focus is on the youth. You know, and then you have to look at that the way I look at it. This is me. The way I look at my youth, I'm power God. All right. So when I look at the youth, my youth in particular, my youth would be somebody that's 20, 30 years younger than me. So I was looking maybe in the 20s, like in the Wisdom Cipher years, right? That's my youth, and a little bit lower. So as you grow older, your youth may change. Now, if I get somebody that's 30, 35, 40 years old, then you deal with your youth, those who are younger than you. And those who are younger than you go pull those that are younger than them. This is how we build a nation, guys. Don't nothing fall out of a vacuum. We have to have a plan and a strategy to pull these people. So no, I don't have a problem. It's for you. What city and state does your brother live in?
Uh, he didn't say God. I definitely didn't. It wasn't a particular place on there. He just kind of dropped the question. But what I will say to him, as well as to anybody else that's watching, man, if you're interested in getting this knowledge, go ahead, take the time, go ahead and write on our Instagram page. No matter where you're watching, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching us on Twitch, hit the link in our bio and put your information in, man. He said he in California. And put your information in, man, and then we'll connect you. You know, so if you in California, bro, what I would say, man, go ahead and hit the link in our bio. Put you're gonna have to enter your name, your phone number, your email address, man, and we connect you with the guys out in California. I don't know about Northern California, but we'll see. We'll see how close we can get you, man. You might have to get out there to LA, because that's what I know the majority of the guys be at and get together, man, out there at Leimert Park. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just said how I can get
There
all
are a
the
couple of gods up in California. But go ahead, God.
Yeah. No. God, that was that. That was that was definitely the that was it. So I would say definitely make sure that you hit us, man, in our in the link, and we'll connect you, man. We'll get you. We'll take care of you, bro. So with that, man, God, I just want to bring it on home. You know, and I really thank you, man. I really appreciate you, God, because we edging in on our hour mark. For taking this time, God, for taking this time, for getting with us, God. Because like I said, if we don't build on our own teachings and build on our own narrative, then you got all of these Johnny come latelys, you got all of these clowns on the internet who look this stuff up on Wikipedia and who look this stuff up online and think that they got it figured out, versus us being able to actually come to the people, deliver these understandings and deliver our teachings from firsthand accounts. Meaning these not. It's a pleasure that I got y'all, because you God, I've always been one of the guys I look up to in terms of man that's building, got people, got beautiful family, got students, your name good, God, you know what I mean? And all that, God, which is what this is about, God. You civilized. I can't wait to get out there to Dallas and just the whole Texas area, man. I got a couple ciphers I'm ready to visit out there. From y'all to Houston.
We're working on some stuff, so stay tuned.
Oh, y'all is doing
I do
big.
want to say,
Go ahead.
I do want to say, God, I would be remiss. I mean, we mentioned his name, but I would be remiss if I did not mention my great brother, King Asiatic.
Man, peace, God. I was just going there.
Man, God, it. You know, I kind of get choked up because me and the God had so many phone bills and bills in the person, and you know, when I got the word, it was, you know, to me, in dealing with the universal flag, there are things that are in place on that flag that will never ever die. Sun, moon, and stars. King Asiatic went on to his essence, but he did not leave his space void. That's what I want people to understand. There are so many great brothers and sisters that were affected by his life, and they continue to teach on. And that way he'll never die, just as Allah never dies. You know, so I just want to give my brother, you know, I gave him to him while he was here, and I want to give him to him again while he's going his flowers. And, you know, that was one of my great brothers. And he will sorely be missed. But every time I see one of his fruit, every time I see people who were affected by him, I smile. You know, my sister that's in the Connecticut area, she put a post up on Facebook the other day, yesterday. She said, without him, meaning King Asiatic, there would be no me. Mm-hmm. And I thought about all the great works this sister does. And I said, wow, you know, that brother did his duty. So I would be remiss if I did not really respectfully salute my brother. So
man,
that's a salute to my brother.
Peace. God, you really was in, we were so in one mind, God, because that's where I was going after that. Like, I wasn't getting up out of here without talking about it, man. I was actually going to ask you, God, if you could share a jewel or something that the God may have passed on to you, man. I was going to do the same.
I can.
Man, please, God, please, man, please. I can. Please, God.
Yeah. I was really working on, I was living over in the what we call the Paradise Garden, which is Pleasant Grove area here in Dallas. We call it Paradise Garden. And that's where my Earth Knowledge 120, she's actually the firstborn out of Paradise Garden. And I was really, at that time, I was wondering, like, how did Allah reach these youth? What was it about him reaching these? And you know, it was King Asiatic. We had a bill. And he let me know, he was like, God, everybody in your neighborhood should know you. Everybody in your neighborhood should know what you stand for. I hate going to God's neighborhoods and they don't know who they are.
Damn.
Make sure everybody knows that you come in the name of Allah. Make sure everybody, and God, when I put that jewel to work, see, it's a jewel and it's valuable when you use it and you see the work behind it. Right. And when I did that, God, I started building with the youth and right around the apartment complex. And we started to take the youth skating. We started to do everything, just going outside and just genuinely listening to what they had going on. And I got that jewel from King Asiatic. And it was like, at one time, God, in the Earth can attest, we had little young brothers who were 10, 11, 12 knocking on our door. Mr. Allah, can I take your garbage out? Can I take your garbage? Now, they wanted a quarter or whatever, but they would also get a lesson behind that. So that was something that affected me dealing with King Asiatic. And that was a jewel, God. Peace.
Man, peace, God. Peace, God. Whoa, man. That was heavy, God. I feel that, man. I feel that, God.
Walk the land. That was his word. Walk the land.
God.
Walk the land. That was his word.
God, and you know what's something is so peace that really that's where I want to say that's where I was going. But you know, when I built with the God, me and the God built a lot of times, man. You know, he was a real big supporter of what I'm striving to do with social media. You know, and I would go through certain things where you had guys, oh God, we don't need to be posting certain things on social media and talking about the teaching on social media. And King Asiatic was like, yo, God, nah. He said, God, keep teaching, God. And he was like, God, he said, I've been using social media, God. And he was like, God, I said, God, I know. You know, and this was his whole thing that, that when he walked the land, that he was going to teach while he was talking to people, and he was going to teach a little bit on social media. Now, the guy wasn't going to be on there a whole long, but I will say, one universal truth, man, the God was so consistent on it. I mean, God, and this to anybody out here, man. If you may be wondering, like, who King Gage Yaddick is, God, you can go on Facebook or YouTube, and there's at least 100 to 200 videos consistent of the God building on today's mathematics on a daily basis. Like, word, like it's to the point to where when I got the news, I wanted to post the build of the God building on that day's math, which is wisdom power. God, I was able to go down YouTube and find a 25th, a wisdom power day, the God building on wisdom power. And you know what I mean? And I just knew, I knew for a fact, words by I said, I know the God, I know it's a bill for wisdom power right here. All I had to do was go down. And it was this year, last month, on the wisdom power day. And I mean, he just in his bill, this was the God's bill, man. You know, so the God was just so adamant, man, because he always reminded me. At any time that I needed to hear the fire of what the teachers was, I knew this was one person I could call. You know what I mean?
And what's beautiful, God, is that we have pillars like that. You have a strong pillar there with you, my brother, Dr. Bahu. Word. I mean, these are brothers that I came up with. These are brothers that when I came up to a law school, they put me under, they was like, come on, God, let's do this. You know, you have a jewel there with you, God, and Dr. Bahu. There are other cities that have, we're such a beacon of light, God. And we only because our big brothers have just really taught us this culture and how beautiful this culture is and how we're going to help save the universal like that.
Ain't no question. Now, God, now don't you try to duck out of there now. Like, you ain't one of them big brothers now, okay? Because you got some grades over there you done earned, my man. You one of them big. You them big brothers too, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of brothers.
I know a few things.
It's a lot of guys out there in Dallas, man, that owe their timeline to you, man. You know what I'm saying? These is actual facts. Okay, so I hear you. I'm with you, man. But you know what I'm saying? We here to give you. We giving you some flowers too, God. And I think that's the beauty, man. And I think it's imperative, man, that not only that we continue to build these relationships and communicate with one another, man, but make sure we reaching out to each other, man. We reaching out to God, we reaching out to Earth, and that we stand in tune, man. You know, because like you said, even one my brother, our great brother King Gage Yaddick, man, the God definitely left his name and his teaching, man, and what he was about, man. And he showed the proof. Like, he left that on the planet. And the God ain't do no shortage of teaching. You talking about somebody getting their first 9 born. You talking about somebody that hit that number and some. So that's definitely our brother, God. Now I definitely appreciate you again, man, for bringing that up. That's really something, God. You know, I gotta admit, God, I was pretty devastated the other day. Kind of stopped my whole emotion. However, we know that what we teach, you know, Allah lives. You can't kill God. Ain't no stopping God, man. Go ahead.
Long as we got this universal structure that we have, you can't kill God, G. You can't kill God in no way, shape, form, or fashion. So, with that being said, God, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be here with you, God, and to add on with you on your beautiful earth. And God, I look forward to doing it again.
Oh yeah. Well, God, before we get up out of here, man, because I know that not only are you a builder, not only are you a great scholar, man, you also is a man in the industry. So, God, if you and your earth have any business things, anything that y'all want to let the people know where they can reach you at, if somebody's interested in connecting with you, connecting and/or with your business or your services, man, please drop them. I want to give you a second, man, give you the full stage, man, so that if there's anything that you want to tell people about and or promote any events, like I said, services or anything like that, God, please, man, the floor is all yours.
Peace, God. I'm definitely I'm definitely appreciative of that, but I'm gonna hand it over to the administrator and Aaron, Moses had his Aaron. I'm gonna let my Aaron speak for me.
Oh, you hearing? You hearing?
Well, the God is a master barber, and so we are located in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex in Mesquite. So he's able to be booked for services online via appointment at LH Cuts, CUTZ dot booksy .net. Again, that's LH Cuts with a Z dot booksy .net. And then we also have www.divineallah, the number 5%.com. That is our online presence for staying in tune with our local ciphers, state, and regional activities. We have Universal Parliament last Sunday of every month. That information is posted across social media platforms. You can follow us at NGE Dallas or Divine Allah, the number 5% on Facebook. There's like I said, a plethora of things that I'm doing. The Earth Cipher is a agenda and a platform to give voice to the original women in our culture and nation. So we have the Facebook page. We're in the graphics in the newspaper each month, so get your subscription. You can also join our Clubhouse room. Clubhouse is available on Android or iPhone, so you can look for it in your app store at for Clubhouse and download it. Look for the five spot or the Earth Cipher, Earth with an S, and you can chime in and participate in our builds on Clubhouse. We're on YouTube. We have a platform, a podcast that's on Anchor and also available on Spotify and Apple, which is the Five Spot Podcast. And we're building that platform out. We're actually bringing in one of the guys who does Wise Stone. So his some of his previous shows will be streamed via our podcast channel. So we have a lot of things that we're doing to strive to fill the void in the virtual space. It's going to be Divine Allah, the number 5, and percent is spelled out PERCENT. So just to make sure that, thank you God for posting it. But it's number 5 and then percent is spelled out.com. It's a lot. We're doing a lot. It's a lot of work to be done. We're here doing the work. We currently are in our winter initiative, so we have a warm heads and hands initiative going. And if you'd like to make a monetary donation to aid in us purchasing and acquiring gloves, scarves, and hats for the winter, this is an annual initiative that we've done in conjunction with Region 7, probably Saudi, St. Louis. So we're continuing that work. We're actually teaming up with another nonprofit this year. So just growing and developing. It's always something to do, somewhere to reach out.
Peace to the
I
God
wanted
of
to
the
make
earth.
a point in regards to when we all were talking about older people, mature people coming into the culture, and you all spoke about it from the aspect of the brothers. I'll say with regard to the sisters coming in, especially if you come in with babies, come in with an earnest heart to learn the culture. And part of learning the culture is studying 120 lessons. Contrary to what others may try to tell you, our goal is not to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind. And the only way you can liberate yourself is when you do the work for yourself. Peace of the God divine understanding. He says all the time, you got to choose yourself. And so that is something that you have to do with this culture. And if you think that this culture is something that's advantageous for you and your baby, you got to get in here, grow your up, and be ready to put in work. And also recognize that we are a culture that advocates for the unified black family.
Exactly.
So if you come into the cipher and you are single, Do not be alarmed if you are approached by a brother who wants to try to talk to you, draw you up, because that's the custom. If you are not interested, you should feel free to decline. However, I want to make sure that this notion that you gonna come in and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you is dispelled. If you are a lady, someone is going to want to talk to you because the goal is to make this universal flag actual.
Right.
And so, if he's a single man or if he's a man with a family and he's taking care of his family and he wants to add on to his family, you may be approached. If you feel that the man does not meet your qualifications or you're not interested at the time, you're working on your growth and development, that is fine. That is okay. However, recognize that at the end of it all, it's about the unified Black original family. And I say Black because that's the original point that we start from.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we want to get back to the original, we're going to have to get back to the Black of the mind, not in colorism, but in the triple stage capacity of getting back to creating families,
That's right.
creating critical building blocks for us to build up on top of one another and with one another so that we can see a day where we've taken the devil off of our planet. That only happens when we do it together. So don't come in here thinking that you're going to stay single, because that's not what we advocate. We don't advocate for a nation full of single people.
Well, I asked you, where your flag at, man?
Sheesh.
Where is your flag?
I know that's right.
We advocate for unified families.
Man.
Or a nation of followers.
Man, you got the guys over here like, woo, shit. You should see, hey, guy, you should see, I see over here. He can't even sit still. The guy like, man. He over here like, whoa, like, man.
That's one thing that's a staple, God. We advocate for the
to the guy, I'm telling you.
Don't think you a sister gonna come around, and don't think you're gonna be a brother around here if you ain't gonna try to get
talk to
in
him.
the building.
Talk to him, God.
Don't come around here thinking you just a wallflower, man. Hey man, get out there and make your flag happen.
And while we're speaking on it,
Quality.
got a little bit of time, but while we're speaking on it,
come on,
let's
Herbie,
make sure
come
that
on.
we are all the way clear, right?
Right.
This don't mean harass.
Right.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah, ooh.
That's not what this means. There are cultural etiquettes. So just in case we got some ladies that may not know, or brothers that may not know, let's make sure we give them something to chew on when they move forward, right? So if you're interested in somebody, there are some questions that you should ask or that should be asked. And if they not, then you should have your little antenna like, ooh, that don't feel right. Who your educator? Who your enlightener?
Boom.
That's off the rip, right? Where you at in your lessons?
Yes.
How you see today's supreme mathematics? Those are some customary things off the jump before you start asking for phone numbers and where your God is. Do you have a God? But she got an enlightener. She got a God. All right. That's the questions that need to be asked so that you know how to proceed. Customarily, then if you're interested, y'all need to go holler at her educator, because if you're interested in talking to her or bedding her, then you need to also be interested in her growth and development in this nation, making sure that she stays
too much.
I'm just saying, because we need more women. We need these women to stay. We need
But see, let me add on to what she's saying.
Protected and taken care of, and not to be sitting up on our asses, but because you want us to teach these babies. And if we are not in a healthy space in our mind and emotionally and with ourselves, because you shine in the proper light and we're fixed at the proper distance so we can absorb it, then these babies don't have a chance.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, that's what it goes back to, this unified family and making sure these babies have what they need to carry on. So I just want the sisters to be secure in their place, and I want the brothers to be confident in their place. Also, I want you to be mindful that there are social etiquettes, cultural etiquettes that oftentimes kind of get overstepped. But I think if we start putting these things into practice, it raises our standard of equality. It raises our equality so that we can be seven, God and earth, because earth borns out seven as well. And so if you want to be a supreme original woman who knows herself, earth, that is a heavy weight. To get there, you got to know your equality. and you got to be ready to carry that equality, right? So that's what I wanted to add. I don't want brothers to just be hounding sisters, and I don't want sisters to feel like, well, she just put us out here and she telling them to just, just run rabbit on us. No, what I'm saying is that we have to move past this idea that it's okay to remain single. We need to be looking for suitable, healthy, strong, and good builders. Who can we connect with to make these strong families?
And whether you know it or not, that's when you're your most happiest when you're moving in your place. Your place as a woman is to be with a man. Your place as a man is to be with a woman. You to have children or add on. If you can't have children, go build with the children in the community and add on in that way. That's where you are supposed to be. Peace.
Yeah, and God, I remember I said that earlier. Remember the God's got at me with that at the show and prove. Oh God, it's up to you to go out and manifest your universal flag and to bring your family together. Don't be no seedless, boy. Don't be no seedless grape, my man. And he laughed.
Real quick, A Toya 7 piece. My IG is the Real Black page.
Okay.
You can find me also at the TheEarthCipher, the Earth Cipher, or you can connect with me on my personal page, the Real Black page.
I also will say this too, God.
Go ahead.
I want us to get together again, you, myself, the Earth, and your Earth. I want us to get together and deal with relationships as it pertains to our nation, because there's a lot of things that people don't know. That we deal with as far as and we don't want to leave people in the dark. As dealing with our nation. I think that's where a lot of gray areas people are not sure. Do y'all deal with this or do y'all deal with that?
Yeah.
What don't y'all deal with? And I think a lot of people need to know straight across the board what we all about when we say universal black family.
True indeed, God. And God, we can put it on the schedule, man. We can do it, man. D, let me know when you free, man. We can do it. We can do it, God. I'm with it, man. So that's we definitely can get it. What I would say, God, I have built with our big brother Zahir and Queen Shamika, and they wanted to get on here. So we really can make it probably get them two on here with us for. And it'll really be dope. So what I'll do, definitely, God, that's what it's about. So I'll build with them, and that that could be a topic we all could discuss.
Generations.
Oh, that would I like that? Or you said that? You said that's 3 different generations.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be powerful.
I think that.
Come on, Earth. I know we just kind of been going, and you've been over here like, come on, God, let me.
No, it's okay. Trust me, it's totally okay.
She's been tapping me like that.
It's the fact of the matter is that everything that I'm wanting to say, you guys are already saying it. So I appreciate that already. But just for people who don't understand, this is not a club. This is not a cult or anything like that. Okay, I need y'all to understand that. And for the women who watching, you come into this individually for yourself. This is growth and development for you. So, young man, when you come in here, it's for yourself. It's not to get with somebody just to basically continue to cause, earthquakes or just other problems. You understand? Clean yourself up first.
That's right.
So if we talking about equality, we talking about quality, not quantity. We talking about quality of people and of a person. And we need the quality of your mind to be just that.
That's
so
right.
Before you get into anything, make sure that the quality of yourself, of who you are, it's of a good stature to basically go out and build.
And then too, Earth, that go back on the gods. Because it's like, you bringing a woman amongst, you talking to women. I think at the beginning piece, man, not only do we have to teach it, and Bahu told me this a long time ago too, not too long ago, but just in regards to the brothers I'm striving to teach, he was like, God, he said, God, we out there, we supposed to be fishing and bringing back the healthy, strong, good breed. He said, God, you bringing back worms. He said, you steady kept grabbing these older motherfuckers, these brothers that's old and up in age, and they going through different shit. They ignorant, or they ain't got no focus, or they ain't got no goals, or they looking for friends, or looking for somewhere to hang and kick it, versus somebody that's pressed to change and pressed to make a difference. And I was like, damn, God. He was like, God, you'll know the difference. The people who want to be healthy, stronger breeders, you ain't gonna have to hunt them down. They gonna come looking for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? The people, the women that want to progress, you ain't gonna have to press them about getting a knowledge or a learning degree. They gonna want them for themselves. So it's something, man. And not to mention, God, we still got the science of the 5%. So I think, man, those that's here is here for the reason because they choose to be here, not because it ain't no compulsion in this, right? And we know that. This is something that an individual want to do. So God, I definitely want to do this. We definitely got to get this going again. I don't want to keep y'all too long because we running into the hour and a half. So God, I thank you, man, again, God, for so much, man, for coming on here, God, and building with us and us having this powerful talk. So for anybody that's just joining in, man, you can make sure that if you want to get the full interview of this talk, it's gonna, the replay won't be available on Instagram, but it will be on YouTube. It will be on Facebook, as well as you can check us out on Twitch. The audio will be available on all streaming platforms, man, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff, as well as the rest of the most podcast streaming services. You'll be able to catch the full audio. Should be up by tonight, latest by tomorrow. Make sure you check it out. If you want to support our stream, you can head to freedomlabs.live/tips, man, and support us. We also got merch on that same website /merch. Make sure you check out the Nectar of the Gods. You can find it right there on that same merch website. And again, if you're interested in getting the knowledge, regardless of your geographical location, no matter where you at, if you in Africa, if you in Asia, if you in Europe, if you in America, if you anywhere in the continental U.S., hit the link in our bio. Drop in there your email, your phone number, and we'll reach out to you and get you connected with the closest gods on earth to you, man, so you can get connected to get the knowledge. Listen, with that, man, I want to thank you, Laura Hashem, thank you, Earth, Omi, thank you so much for coming in and giving these people, giving our platform, giving the 5% connection a little bit of y'all time. With that, man, we can leave them with a peace, man. Peace.
Peace, God. Peace, Earth. Peace. I love you, Earth.
God and Earth. God and Earth.
God.
Y'all can stay on real quick. We can kind of debrief. But to that, man, to the people, make sure that y'all following us. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you tuned in so you can get notifications for future lives.
One more thing, guys.
Go ahead, Earth.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay, if you would like to make a contribution to the Warm Heads and Hands initiative that we are running to help the babies with gloves, hats, and scarves, we're also teaming up with another nonprofit who is going to be giving out coats. That way they have everything they need to keep them warm through the winter. You can make a contribution via Cash App, $Righteous Builders. That is righteous with an S, builders with an S. $ in the front via Cash App. Put on their Warm Heads and Hands, and your contribution will be greatly appreciated and go towards making sure that a baby got some gloves, some scarves, and a hat this winter.
That's what
For
I'm
real.
talking about.
Peace.
Word, peace to the Earth. Thank you. Thank you for that, Earth. Too much. Thank you for the super.
That's how they want it. That's how they get it.
Magnificent! That will conclude this evening's entertainment.